For 9 long months, I sat and listened to everyone tell me the Packers were done. The Packers aren't good anymore. Aaron Rodgers is washed. LaFleur and Rodgers are going to be the match made in hell. That the Packers were stupid for even trying to sign free agents and compete. That they should just trade Rodgers, get rid of him, blow everything up, and go into rebuild mode. I heard from so many Vikings and Bears fans specifically that the Packers were finished. And now the Packers just completed sweeps of the Bears and the Vikings and could complete a sweep of the entire NFC North if they beat Jeff Driscoll and the Detroit Lions next week. And they are NFC North champs. And I told everybody, I made the prediction that the Packers were going to have a good season this year. I made the prediction that they were going to have double-digit wins and win the division. And everyone called me crazy. Everyone called me stupid. Well, look at me now. Look at us now. Look at the Packers now. They're 12-3. They're 1 win away from 13-3 and the second seed. Maybe the first seed in the NFC. I told everybody that this Packers team was going to be good. I told everybody that their defense was going to be really good, that they were going to be able to rely on the run game, and Rodgers was only going to have to manage games for them to win. And look what happened. They are NFC North champs. I can't tell you how good this feels. This feels so good. This feels amazing. This feels awesome. This was a perfect Christmas present, man. To just, and even after we beat the Vikings in September, I had to hear for a couple months about how the Packers got lucky and that they couldn't do it on the road in US Bank Stadium. And for 3 long years, we could never win at that stadium. 3 consecutive times in that new stadium, we could just never play the right way. We could never pull out victories. And look what we did. We went out and won the freaking NFC North this year in that stadium. Oh my God, I am so happy. Oh. And you have to give the credit, in my opinion, to the Packers front office and the coaching staff. And, of course, Aaron Jones as well, and the seasons that a lot of the guys have had this year, and Za'Darius Smith. But really, I think what it is Pettine and LaFleur and Gutekunst. Those guys are responsible for the Packers having such a good season this year. Signing Big Z, signing Amos, signing Preston Smith. I mean, those moves, were so huge. On the defensive end, they made such a big difference because the Packers, they have had sometimes problems with giving up big yards this year. The past 4 games, they have been almost flawless in every aspect. And this is the time of year where defenses thrive, and the Packers, in the middle of the season, kind of hit a rut, and you're kind of left wondering, is this defense really that good? But the big things that they have a pass rush. That is the biggest, and their corners are good enough. I mean, they're not spectacular, but their pass rush is what has made this defense. Kenny Clark, Za'Darius Smith, Preston Smith, Rashawn Gary, Kyler Fackrell, am I missing anybody? Probably Tyler Lancaster, Dean Lowry, all of these guys have had fantastic seasons. And it's really the big difference in what the Packers have done this year. I mean, to be able to get consistent pressure on the quarterback, especially, and tonight was the biggest example of that. Kirk Cousins had no time to throw. He was constantly under pressure, and it's all because of those guys up front, and they just dominated the Vikings on the line of scrimmage. And those signings in the offseason, they really have paid off this year. And that was a big reason why I thought the Packers were going to be a lot better, because last year their defense was good, not that great, but this year they have those difference makers. They have guys like Za'Darius Smith. They have Jair in year 2, and Kevin King has made strides, and Adrian Amos is really, really good as a safety, and Preston Smith has been phenomenal. Like, all of these guys have just been so good for the Packers, and that's why I thought this defense was going to take the next step, and they, so far, especially over the past 4 games, they really looked like they have. As for the offense, you can complain about it, and I certainly have my complaints with the offense this year. They have not looked that sharp, but they have a running game, and they have Aaron Rodgers, and they have a head coach who is consistently trying to scheme guys open and try and get the offense going, and you just feel like at some point it's going to click, and we have seen flashes from it. We remember the beginning of the first game against the Vikings. We remember the game against the Raiders. There's been flashes of this excellence on offense. If the Packers can put that together, along with the defensive improvements they've made this year, they are going to be a team that nobody is going to want to face in the playoffs, especially at Lambeau Field. If the Packers win against the Lions and Seattle wins against the 49ers and wins the NFC West, the Packers are the 1 seed. Home field goes through them in the NFC. It is going to be so difficult for teams to come to Green Bay and win. And I know that's been said before, and that's happened before. The Packers have gotten the 1 seed and done nothing with it. You remember 2011. But this team has something. Like every week, we complain, we moan, we whine about something that we didn't like from the Packers this week, that we didn't like. But every single time, we're always celebrating another victory. Almost every single time. And to have the home field advantage, we're 7-1 at home this year, actually. It's just such a big difference maker, and that's legit possible now. It's not crazy for the Seattle Seahawks to win at home against the Niners, and it's certainly not crazy for the Packers to beat the Lions next week with Jeff Driscoll at quarterback. Everything is just falling into place almost for this team, and they have something that this team, for the first time in maybe ever, I legitimately have confidence that this team can win without Aaron Rodgers having a spectacular game. I legit can go into games thinking, if Aaron Rodgers can manage the game, and Aaron Jones can, if we can control the clock, control the ball, we can win. This is like the first time that I can ever remember being able to feel that way about the Packers. And it is an amazing feeling. So, Merry Christmas, everybody. The Packers are NFC North champions. They're a win and a 49ers loss away from having the 1 seed in the NFC, or in the entire NFC, and a win away from sweeping the NFC North after everybody said that the Packers were done, that they were nothing, that they weren't going to be able to ever do anything again with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Everybody doubted this team except us. Except us. We all knew that this team could be something this year. And look what they did. They went out and won the North, and like I said, they're a win and a 49ers loss away from the NFC playoffs going through Lambeau Field. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Go Pack Go.